Take two.
While in Milan, his professional life flourished. There he painted one of the most famous paintings, The Last Supper, which was commissioned by the monastery of Santa Maria del Grazie. Milan also offered an opportunity for Leonardo to expand on his scientific research. Recruited by Milan's ruler, he became a military engineer, even though he despised war, calling it a beastly madness. But Renaissance Italy was constantly at war. He couldn't avoid it. During this time, Leonardo designed a number of military machines, including a primitive form of a tank, a wild chariot with blades attached to its wheels, and various siege engines. These futuristic machines are now recognized as being on the forefront of modern warfare. These drawings were the ideas behind the modern-day tanks, aircraft, and even the machine gun. The pattern of work that we see Leonardo developing in Milan would come to persist throughout his life. While conducting intense scientific investigations in his spare time, the artist would work on one or two major public projects, such as a monumental mural, doing a few portraits on the side. In 1499, the political situation in Milan took a turn for the worse. Around the year 1500, Leonardo decided to leave Milan and head back to Florence, where his good reputation had came before him. Here, Leonardo accepted a commission from a wealthy Florentine merchant who wanted a portrait of his wife. From 1503 to 1506, Leonardo da Vinci completed one of his most renowned works of all time, the Mona Lisa. Many scholars doubt the story of the merchant and the commission, and there are several conflicting stories about who the woman in the painting really may have been. However, the mystery behind the painting is shadowed by the genius of the work, and that is now seen by thousands of tourists each day at the Louvre in Paris. The painting is available today as a popular Da Vinci poster, and it also has been transformed in numerous novelty items. In Florence, Leonardo had begun his research into the human anatomy. His detailed drawings of the composition played a large role in the development of knowledge about anatomy and the human body. In fact, even today, more than 500 years after he was created, there is probably no more recognizable drawing of the human body than Leonardo's Vitruvian Man. The Vitruvian Man is instantly recognizable drawing of a male placed within a circle who seems to have 4 arms and 4 legs. Once he became a successful artist in his own right, Leonardo took his interest a step further. Given permission by a hospital in Florence, Leonardo began to study the body through dissecting corpses. Da Vinci was a scientific genius as well as an artistic one. Although the study of the proportions clearly helped with his perspective in painting and sculpture, he also wished to compile a book that contained both his drawings and his observations to be used in the medical field. Medicine at that time was a backward science of ignorance. Leonardo hoped that discoveries of the Renaissance would help people move beyond the area of art into the area of medicine. In 1506, Leonardo traveled back to Milan to work for the French governor of Milan. During his time there, Leonardo da Vinci created a few paintings that acted mainly as an architect. Some of his sketches from the period have survived and was sold alongside of many other Da Vinci prints. In 1513, the French were expelled from Milan, forcing Leonardo to work outside the city. Da Vinci headed to Rome, where his friend Giuliano de' Medici, the brother of Pope Leo X, offered him living space and residence in the Vatican. For about 3 years, Leonardo stayed in Rome and did not receive any commissions, while his rivals, you might know them as Michelangelo and Raphael, pretty famous period time painters, were hard at work. By 1516, the King of France, Francois I, requested that Leonardo join his service. At this time, Leonardo chose to leave Italy, his native country, where he would never return again. He bore the title of first painter, architect, and engineer to the king, and he lived in a small town of Clos near the king's palace. At the age of 67 in 1519, while living in France, Leonardo da Vinci died of natural causes and was buried in the Church of St. Florentine. Legend has it that King Francois was at his side when he died, cradling Leonardo's head in his arms. The church itself was ruined during the French Revolution and completely demolished during the 19th century. Today, there are no markings to identify Leonardo's gravesite. The Renaissance master, as he's often referred to, continues to live on through his surviving paintings. His many notebooks and through extensive selection of Da Vinci posters and prints have been produced over the years. Leonardo had lived a life full of inspiration, but also with misery. Throughout the years, he went through moments of despair, but also found brilliance where he was welcomed in Florence as a great painter of the day. While only a few Leonardo brilliant pieces of artwork remain intact for us to see, and while his life was long-lived in the time that your 40s was the golden years, he remains a legend. With his life sometimes filled with sorrow, the world was blessed with the gift of the beautiful pieces that Da Vinci left behind. The few paintings of Da Vinci, as well as many notebooks are scattered in different places throughout the world. One of his notebooks is even owned by a software tycoon, Bill Gates, which he purchased for a mere $30 million. While many of his paintings, such as the Mona Lisa, is the most expensive painting in the world, it cost about $100 million to purchase Mona Lisa. But you can't all actually buy the pieces, but you can still take a little bit of Da Vinci home through the art prints of his works. Many Da Vinci art prints and posters exist, and we can purchase the masterful The Last Supper, the Mona Lisa, to bring a little bit of Da Vinci into our own homes. While Da Vinci paintings may express numerous thoughts and may evoke a multitude of feelings for the viewer, it becomes important to understand what was going on in the painter's life when the work was made. Even a Da Vinci poster alone may trigger a conversation about the painter. Through his lifetime and beyond, Da Vinci impacted people's lives through his artwork and inventions. Even his legacy evolved around one of the best-selling books of the decade, renewed people's interest in his world. With Da Vinci work being discovered and when you walk into the mind of the master's mind 500 years ago and discovering the future of art and invention, I will leave you with a quote from the master himself. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do.
Very good.